Attention!
Welcome to the Film Mages Podcast, where the popcorn is our ammunition, the couch is our foxhole, and the cinema is a place of worship.
Now let me see your war face. Ah!
And we're back, folks. This was a fantastic game. The halftime show, they're really showing some promise there, especially where they lobbed the ball into the hole, which gives you points.
Who's lobbing balls into holes?
Zack.
I am not.
Zack.
Oh.
You know what? It's time, Robby.
It's time.
It's time.
Well, good afternoon.
How are you doing, Alexis? Yeah, how are you doing over there?
So good. I just got back from LA. I have
Oh, great.
one more trip to grab my stuff, and then I will be
Fantastic.
fully moved out of my place. Yeah, my nephew came down and helped me this time because, a girl.
Oh, wonderful.
A girl can't do it by herself.
That's true. You are no independent, strong woman. You are in need of a man.
Wow, what the fuck, dude?
Wow.
I don't know. You teed me up for it. Come on.
We're off to a rip-roaring start. Hello,
rip-roaring
everyone.
start.
We're the Film Majors.
Hello, folks.
I'm Zack.
I'm Mick.
My name is not Casual Misogyny. I thought that was yours, Mick. No, but I'm Alexis.
Zinger. Bada bing.
Yeah, and we're doing our thing. This is our last episode of Academy Darlings Month.
That's right.
Wow,
It's
sad
been
to
a
see
fun
her
one.
go.
Love to watch her leave.
Ooh. That's good.
Yeah.
What is that from?
Face Off.
Face Off.
Yeah,
Yes.
an Academy Award winning film.
Talk about our topic of the day. Oscar snubs. How did Face Off never get that?
Yo, for
Yeah,
real.
wow, way to spoil it, man. Yeah, well, what are we doing?
What's going on?
Yeah,
There it is.
Oh,
There it
shit, I
is.
messed up the question, and I gave
I know.
Nick
I'm
an
surprised.
opportunity
I'm
to sneak in there.
surprised.
Yeah.
That's okay. I feel like I've been hopping on that.
Yeah,
a
my
lot
mind's been
lately.
too many
Alexis?
places to really be trying to steal the show in that way.
Have you seen any movies lately? Anything good? Anything worth shouting out on the show?
Oh, you know me. I have been continuing my Adam
good
Driver
God.
marathon.
Oh man.
It's been great, actually. Besides the whole Kylo Ren thing, which I, enjoy, I just really like him as an actor. I don't know. I just really like watching him. He didn't necessarily.
Hot take.
It's just he came to it he didn't come out of a lot of actors come out of high school, knowing that that's what they're going to do. And he ended up making a pit stop at the Marines, and then coming back to it. Probably the only Marine that I am yeah, hell yeah, my boy.
He's the only one you're thanking for his service.
If he asked me to watch Black Hawk Down, I think I'd have to make an exception.
Yeah.
Didn't he? How long was he in the Marines? Wasn't it brief? He hurt his leg, right?
Yeah, he got some injury. And then
It was I think it was almost 2 years, but yeah, he got injured doing something, and so he got medically discharged.
Probably. Is that another reason why you like him? You twisted your ankle, and he probably twisted
are
his.
you feeling like you're
Oh
connecting
yeah,
with him
I
on a deeper
purposely
level?
recently twisted my ankle so that we would both be
You could,
Yeah, you wanted to
crippled.
gain more. You wanted to gain more insight into the mindset of Adam Driver to better stalk your prey.
It's very method, Alexis.
Yeah,
Hey man,
that's
what
good.
can I say? I am committed to the bit.
I've always said that about you.
You got to commit to the bit.
right.
So what Adam Driver films have you been watching?
tell us.
Okay, so
we know she's obsessed with Adam Driver.
yeah, so
she goes through these
so literally
phases.
the only
We
4
understand.
movies that I watch are all 4 movies that he has been in.
Yeah.
Well, which ones?
Okay, so
the anticipation is fucking killing me.
2013's What If with Daniel Radcliffe and Zoe Kazan, and Adam Driver is in it as Daniel Radcliffe's best friend, and it is actually a really cute rom-com. I would admit that it's it's not the best, but it was an indie rom-com, so those are always a little bit higher up on the totem pole. That's the one where
Did you say Kazan?
Yeah, no, but this is the movie that he's I just had sex and I'm gonna eat nachos. This is the best day of my life. So yeah,
I remember that coming out and wanting to see that.
I never saw it.
yeah, it was kind of
I never saw it
I
either.
thought it was cute. I thought that the script was like pretty decent. Like it's like a lot of like witty, clever banter going back and forth between like Daniel Radcliffe and Zoe Kazan. And then I watched Annette, which is like this rock musical that he's in, which was like,
yeah,
I don't.
That's a Leos Carax movie, right?
Yes, and I think the general consensus is bad movie by a good director. I can't, you know me, I love musicals, and even I am like, I don't know about this one. The fucking.
What else is that? What's he done?
He did Holy Motors.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't either. He's apparently a very strange director.
Yeah.
I want to check out both.
Alexis, you said
Holy
he's
Motors.
a good director. Have you seen his other work?
No, but just like based on like all the reviews that you know, of people that like have seen his work, he is definitely like he's got a lot of like strange things going. And even this movie is very strange. Like the child in question, Annette, is played by a puppet. Who I'm just gonna say, like, whoever made this puppet was really like, they really were just like, fuck you, Adam Driver. They gave her like these big like ears that stick out, and I was like I get it. It does look like Adam Driver, but that's kind of fucked up.
Got him.
And then this movie Patterson, which is by Jim Jarmusch, who's the one who did.
Oh, I've been wanting to see that.
Yeah, Only Lovers Left Alive, and then The Dead Never Die. Is that what it's called?
The Dead Don't Die.
The Dead Don't Die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he also did this movie Patterson, and it's basically Adam Driver as a bus driver. Adam Bus Driver.
Adam registered driver.
Yeah.
The wheels on his bus go up and down.
But he's like a poet, and
That's
I
not
actually,
the song. Hold up.
What?
No. He just said the wheels on his bus go up and down.
Oh, he's bussing.
Why are you coming at me like this, man?
I hated that.
The audience heard it.
He's
And now
bussing.
you heard it twice.
You heard it here first. Adam Driver is bussing.
He is
Oh
busting.
my god.
And it is going up and down.
Okay.
My parents are probably so confused right now listening to this.
I actually really liked the movie. I really liked listening to it because he's like, in a lot of this, he's like reading the poetry that he's like writing, and instead of like reading it in like, you know, like stanzas, he kind of reads it like as if he's like really creating it in the moment. So there's like pauses where, you know, you wouldn't necessarily think to take the pauses, I guess. And then the other movie was a 2013 movie, Tracks, with, I'm going to butcher it, and I do it every time, Mia Wasikowska.
Mia Wasikowska?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Nailed it.
exactly. But it's about this woman, Robin Davidson, who did this 1,700-mile journey from Alice Springs in Australia all the way over to the ocean. Just her and 4 camels and a doggy.
This is Pete Davidson's mother.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. That's canon. Yeah.
Is that a joke?
Anyways,
It's like shaped like a joke. It had like some of the elements of a joke, but
It had words.
It
Yeah.
lacked humor.
It had words.
Adam Driver plays the fucking photographer Rick Smolin. So that, and they have like this kind of like a little bit of an affair. But I don't know. I thought he was really cute in this movie. I don't know. There's just something
Of course
about
he did.
him in 2013. He looked exceptionally good. 2013 to like 2016. Beautiful time for him.
I love these obsessions that you go through, Alexis. You go through these phases, and Adam Driver's is this
It
turn.
is fascinating to watch.
Last summer it was Austin Butler.
Yeah.
And I wonder who will be next.
Yeah. You know,
Is there anyone on your radar that we should know
What's so
about?
funny about this is that I've seen Tracks before, and that's because I went through this like obsessive like couple months where I was watching only Mia movies. Yes. So I was watching all of her movies. So I had seen Tracks, and like it was probably one of the first scenes I'd ever seen Adam Driver in, actually.
I also saw Adam Driver in a movie for the first time in 2013 because he's in Inside Llewyn Davis, which is
I love that movie
a
so
favorite
much.
of mine.
Yeah.
And I always
That's
remember
probably
him
the
because
first
his
time
voice
I
is
saw
so
him, too.
low in that one song that he sings. Like,
Yeah.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Yeah.
3,
Yeah, that's pretty
2.
good.
1 second, please.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that probably might be the first time I ever saw him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
I
actually
Inside
think
Llewyn
that movie
Davis.
was the first time I saw him.
I've mentioned this before, but I remember watching Inside Llewyn Davis and being like, damn, that is a strange looking dude.
Yeah.
And then years later being like, and everyone would like to have sex with him, I've heard.
Yeah.
I
Many
will
are
send a
telling me.
picture to the group chat. This man is scrumdiddlyumptious.
Oh my god.
Well,
You are so indecent, Alexis. It's why we love you.
she's being
Yeah.
uncouth.
Uncouth, unhinged.
Yeah, this is
Unbecoming.
definitely like
Unbecoming.
pre-Hays
Actually,
Code.
it sounds
Gentleman.
like she may be coming.
Oh god.
Second coming of God, it's me.
Is there anything else you've seen, Alexis, that's not Adam Driver?
Nope. That's it. That's
There it is.
that's it. I actually think
well,
that I
I'd
may
like-
be at the end of my road because there's not much else that I can watch him in that won't make me
Yeah.
like, I don't want to see him as a rapist in The Last Duel. And I also don't want to watch him as like, I
Oh,
put
wait
on.
a minute. Yeah, you haven't seen The Last
He's
Duel
also
yet.
in this
Oh, boy.
2016 movie by Martin Scorsese called Silence, but he plays a Jesuit priest.
Oh, that's such a
And
good one. Those are,
I'm just
you know, the
saying
problem
that
is you're-
1640 Jesuit
Alexis, you're
priest is
listing-
not my
You're
type.
listing two really good movies. Those are both very good films.
Yeah,
and
but-
you're denying yourself them because he's kind of problematic in one of them and he's very sickly in the other. And by the way, you would like him because he's sickly in Silence.
No, I already started it and I was like, ooh, the robe is
And-
not doing like
Yeah, but it
it's so
also
funny
has
because it's
Andrew
so
Garfield
similar
in
to
it.
like the Kylo Ren look, you know, because it's like an all black kind of robe, but it's just different.
This is weird. Your boundaries are weird with this man. I'm not quite following it. It's like, nah, the robe isn't working for me. But wait a minute, but Andrew Garfield's in it, and you're kind of low-key obsessed about him too, right?
Oh, I love Andrew Garfield. He has a special place in my heart.
And you couldn't, and that didn't do it for you in Silence?
He the beard, you know, like there's got to be things stuck in there
yeah.
somewhere.
Okay,
I'm trying.
I'd like to move things along because
Yeah.
I have
Go
movies
ahead.
that I watch that I'd like to talk about.
We've been on the driver bus for a while.
We've driven to the end of the road.
It's yeah.
So I watched a 2005 romantic comedy called
Ooh.
Just Like Heaven.
Okay.
With our boy Mark Ruffalo.
I just had lunch with someone yesterday who said that she saw him in person and was kind of taken aback by how hot he is.
Oh,
Yeah, he's America's sweetheart.
Yeah.
I mean, I
was
loved him in 13
disappointed
going
to
on
hear
30.
that.
As I've said, I still need to see that.
Girl, please. You're lying.
But as I've said,
I really liked him in The Happening.
the film that we watched, wrong Mark. Fuck you. Anyways, Just Like Heaven was all right. I thought it was pretty good. Mark Ruffalo does like some incredible like possessed body comedy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he does
In a
his best
rom-com?
Bruce Campbell. Yeah, okay, so the premise of the movie is that Mark Ruffalo moves into an apartment and it's being haunted by Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, okay.
And
so
it's
it's
Is she dead
It's a
or is something else
supernatural
going
Oh,
on?
story.
I've
Yeah.
seen that movie.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
cute.
It was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like no one else in the cast is really given that much, but Reese Witherspoon and Mark Ruffalo, they have good chemistry. I enjoyed myself.
Good.
And then keeping up with Blank Check's Danny Boyle series, I watched Sunshine.
Oh,
and
yeah. How was that?
Very impressed.
I'll have to rewatch
Yeah,
that. I saw that way too young.
I thought that was
didn't
a
understand it.
pretty great movie. I don't really get all the shit that the ending gets. Like I guess it's a little less grounded than the first two acts of the movie, but I think it works. A lot, like just a murderer's row of people who hadn't quite broken out yet. Cillian Murphy, Rose Byrne, Chris Evans, Michelle
Chris
Yeoh.
Evans is in that?
Yeah, Michelle Yeoh's in it.
Wow. Isn't Hugh Jackman's in it?
Huh?
Hugh Jackman, is he in it?
No.
No.
What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
I thought he was in a sci-fi film with Danny Boyle.
Benedict Wong is in it. Mark Strong is in it.
Nice. Oh, I love him.
Hiroyuki Sanada is in it.
My boy
yeah,
Hiroyuki.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thought he was great in it.
Yeah.
And now that brings me to the other film that I watched with young Nicholas here.
Hello.
And that would be John Wick Chapter 4,
Oh,
which Hiroyuki Sanada
yes.
is also in.
That movie is so good.
It ruled.
It's
my favorite new movie I've seen this year.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's the first time it's the first time I've seen a movie this year in the theaters where I'm like, depending on how the rest of the year goes, this is a contender to be in top 10.
Really?
It's the first time I felt that about a movie.
Yeah. It's either the first John Wick or this John Wick is my favorite of the series.
Yeah, definitely.
Nobody is doing action like this except for Mission Impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like,
but it's also different too.
Yeah, it's different. It's a lot more like visceral and gory.
Yes. Oh my god.
We get Donnie Yen showing up, Ip Man himself.
Yeah, no, what I love about it is that he does kind of take a backseat, John Wick, to Ip Man a couple of times. So it becomes like a Donnie Yen movie for a fraction of the runtime, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of the
Seeing
movie,
them together.
A lot of the movie is John Wick versus Ip Man.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Give me that.
It's
They're
fantastic.
injected into my veins.
Have you seen Ip Man, Alexis?
No.
There's a lot of kicking and punching, and it's really good.
Yeah, it's great.
a period piece.
It's a period piece. Takes place in the 40s.
Sounds so tempting.
Have you seen the John Wick movies?
Nope.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, because in the
someone-
first one, the dog, like, I watched like the first 5 minutes and then I turned it off because I was so sad.
You couldn't
like
see the dog die.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Yeah, that is a bit of a skill issue on your part.
I have to say, I'm working with someone right now, and I was like, he's like, okay, I'm gonna see the movie this weekend. I was like, okay, great, I'm gonna see it too. And he texts me today, and he goes, that's a mid-Wick film. and I was like,
Wrong.
Really? And he was like, yeah, I just got so tired of all the cartoonish action sequences, and they're not always realistic in the other John Wick movies, but like, yeah, this didn't really do it for me. And I said, oh man, because I love the fact that they got Donnie Yen in this and it works so well. And he's like, yeah, I've never seen Ip Man. I knew that this guy must be a big deal, but I don't recognize him. And it made me realize that John Wick Chapter 4 definitely rewards those who are already well-versed in the action genre.
Yeah, if you're into like Hong Kong action cinema,
yes,
you will be rewarded.
And we both are cut from that cloth. I mean, that's something else. When we were driving home, I was telling you, Zach, that like what's so great about this movie to me is that it's a new film with kung fu and gun fu in it.
Yeah.
And what other movies are giving us that?
Can't think of anything.
The only thing we can do to watch that is watch the classics, and that's fantastic. I'm never going to complain about that, but it's nice to see new movies attempting one of the most fantastic subgenres there is. Again, I think that overhead shot, the YouTube reviewer Chris Stuckman described it as like the Minority Report shot with the dragon's breath.
Yeah.
That would have made John Woo proud.
Yes.
I think it was just so fantastic. So, Alexis, take a chance on it. Take a chance.
Take a flyer on John Wick.
Take a flyer, yeah.
Listen,
because you know who's in it? Bill Skarsgård, and he is exceptional.
He's the villain in this one.
Yeah, no, he's
incredible.
arguably, I think, the best villain of the series.
Also, I will say that I know that you are not excited about seeing a film where a dog dies. Let me just say that my father, who is like the number one dog person that I know, is a big John Wick fan because he's like, yeah, that's the correct response.
Right.
That's what you should do.
If someone kills your dog.
someone kills your dog.
You go on a rampage.
That's the appropriate level of vengeance.
And there's such a great moment in this movie with the dog. It's so cute.
Yeah, I actually, somebody explained to me already, like, how the first movie, like, ends and stuff. So, like, I already know, like, basically kind of what happens. But so you bring up, like, I'm not really, like, I don't love eating like meat, but if it is like well seasoned, like if somebody like really put in that minced garlic, I really, really love meat. Now
are you saying
that Bill Skarsgård is minced garlic?
Bill Skarsgård is my minced garlic.
Folks, you've heard it here first. Get your hot takes from Alexis. Bill Skarsgård is minced garlic.
On this action movie that I needed.
Wow. You should know. I think you'd also really enjoy the outfits he wears.
Oh yeah.
He looks like a fancy man.
he's the fanciest lad
He's the
in
fanciest
film.
lad.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're really
See,
winning
we
me
knew.
over. See, you just have to you have to come at it from a different point of view, you know.
And we did. And look at it.
And here we are.
We came at it from a different angle, and we
didn't-
got her on board.
You didn't do as good a job winning her over on silence, but
Yeah.
well done.
Thank
well
you.
done.
Thank you.
I'm proud
I'm always
of you.
trying. I'm always trying to get you to the table, Alexis, of other movies that we enjoy.
This is
The high
true.
table.
This is
The
true.
high table. Ooh, great reference.
Yeah.
Boom.
Except
Good.
the problem with
Fantastic.
Andrew Garfield is that there's never been like a movie where I'm like, damn, that man's sexy. So it doesn't hold the same weight, you know?
Okay, who are you and what have you done with my friend Alexis? Because there are numerous conversations you've had where you're like, God, Andrew Garfield,
Gorf.
give me a towel.
Yeah, but that's like
You have
he's
said
like
that.
he's like the thespian, but it's a different type, okay? Like I like watching Adam Driver be
Mark,
toxic
are you
in
following
movies.
this? Because I can't follow this.
All I'm saying is call me lasagna because I want Garfield to eat me.
Great.
And we're back. There was a technical error we had just then. So yeah, John Wick Chapter 4, we saw that together on opening night on IMAX, and it was a fantastic time. The crowd whooped and cheered and hollered, and we were right there with them. You know a movie that I saw in theaters that I did not whoop, holler, and cheer? Inside, starring Willem Dafoe. It's that movie. You're familiar with it, Alexis, right? Or he's playing an art thief that gets stuck in a high-rise apartment. You've seen the trailer for it.
I think
Call
I've
me
seen
a
the
New York
trailer. I
high-rise
don't know.
because I
Maybe
want
have, maybe
Willem
I haven't.
Dafoe to get stuck in me.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm glad you guys overlapped just now because I was listening to Alexis and not you, and I think that was a good choice. Here, I will maintain that I don't think it's a bad film. It's just not for me. Mm-hmm. It's like nothing happens. You got a guy, he's stuck in an apartment, and I was like, okay, great. And like about halfway through the movie, I think, are we having a gear change? No. Okay. No, not a gear change. Just kind of a weird reveal. Okay, that's fine. I think if you really appreciate like art, like paintings and sculpt, like real art, kind of like physical medium stuff, you'll probably get a kick out of it, I suppose. I'm not that huge into it. It reminds me a lot, actually, of The Lighthouse, in the sense of you have Willem Dafoe who's stuck in a single location and slowly he deteriorates in sanity. Now, one of those movies is entertaining and the other one isn't. Willem Dafoe, as I said in my review, is the best, I think maybe only good part of the movie, aside from the really cool production design that they had of the apartment. He makes it watchable because he's fantastic. And there are numerous bits in the thing that gave me a chuckle. But yeah, I just, nothing really happened. And in The Lighthouse, it's funny and scary and frightening. And in this, it's just dull and I hate to use the B word, but boring. You made a boring Willem Dafoe movie, guys. Come on.
Tragic.
Yeah. So I do recommend that people see it. Check it out. You know, ignore me. Have your own opinions about it. But a movie that I saw last night with a mutual friend of ours, Britt, we went to the New Beverly for a double feature. Unfortunately, we didn't catch the second one, which is Practical Magic. They were having a Nicole Kidman night. And we saw To Die For. Which,
Alexis's face,
I know.
the disappointment that she didn't get to go to that.
Alexis, if you still lived in LA, trust me, you would have been the person I took.
I would have literally
you
gone
moved to
the full
Fresno.
like whimsy goth, like fucking.
Yeah, no, some
attire.
people did. Some people did, and it was fantastic. God. And I was sitting next to her during the coming attractions bit. And I say, hey, you know, that's called Funky Fanfare by Keith Mansfield. And I was like, that's Funky Fanfare by Keith Mansfield. And I sometimes listen to that in my car. And the woman sitting next to me goes, that's weird.
I don't know if you saw my face right now, but I was like, what?
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah.
Got him.
But I have to say, To Die For, which I've never even heard of, it's a Gus Van Sant movie. Absolute delight. I absolutely loved it. It starts off funny, but then it slowly deteriorates into this dark, murderous, erotic thriller. It's a fantastic 90s spin because it's kind of done in like a mockumentary punk alternative style. It's a twist on the femme fatale film noir genre. And it's great. And I honestly think it might be my new favorite Nicole Kidman performance because she fucking slays in this.
You still haven't seen Eyes Wide Shut.
I still haven't seen it. And that, once I have seen it, that might change.
She's spectacular in that movie. She's also very good as Dr. Chase Meridian.
Which they showed a trailer for. Which, okay, here's another funny thing. What's the guy's name? Robin.
What? Oh, Chris O'Donnell?
Okay, so in the trailer, Chris O'Donnell, the trailer ends, and Chris O'Donnell goes, I'm here whether you like it or not. And it cuts, the trailer cuts, and then someone in the audience went, yeah, that was for us. And it's so true, because Chris O'Donnell fucking sucks. Man, I can't stand him.
I'm so glad that our roommate is not here, because he would be up in arms.
He has bad taste.
Wait, what movies does he like Chris O'Donnell in?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Those movies. What
else is he in?
I don't know. Has he been in anything
else?
I hope not. Wait,
whether you like it or not.
You know what he was in? He was in the 90s Three Musketeers movie.
Yeah,
with Tim Curry.
I got nothing.
Okay.
Well, Tim Curry's good.
That's good.
You're telling me you can't think of any Chris O'Donnell movies?
I thought of one.
Can you, Alexis?
I mean, I can envision like his face, but for some reason, like I can't envision any of the movies that he's like.
Yeah, you're doing a much better job than Zack.
Yeah, no, because I just remember him playing like a bunch of like dicks, like kind of like, oh, you're not really supposed to like really like him that much. Is it Chris O'Donnell? Well, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong person.
Yeah, so then don't cast him as Robin. Ugh, I still get upset about that.
Pivoting completely.
Nope.
I do have a little bit of...
wrong person. Thinking of the wrong person.
Hey,
I don't know this man.
Alexis.
I've never seen this man before.
I've never seen this man before in my life.
So, no, a little bit of entertainment news. It's recently been revealed by Kanye West that he was watching Jonah Hill in 21 Jump Street.
Yes.
And it made him like Jewish people again.
Wow.
No one should take anger against one or two individuals and transform that into hatred towards millions of innocent people.
And they say art can't change lives, you know?
That's right.
21 Jump Street. Eliminating anti-Semitism through the strength
that
of
needs
Jonah
to be
Hill's
their
performance.
new slogan. They got to re-release it.
That should be their new slogan. They should do a re-release.
Yeah.
He ended that Instagram post with "Thank you, Jonah" heart.
Yeah.
And one of the directors of the movie, Chris Miller, just like tweeted that out and was like, "Thanks for watching, I guess."
That, God, man, his brain is fascinating.
Really just a man who
is doing well mentally.
Should be getting help and isn't, and at this point it's on him.
Yeah, which honestly brings us to our sponsor, BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
That was a great segue. Brought to you by BetterHelp.
Not brought to you by BetterHelp.
It should be, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've done BetterHelp. I didn't really enjoy it.
You didn't like
much.
it?
No, it didn't really work for me.
It was not so great help?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, mediocre help.
Yeah, it was mediocre.
You went with the wrong one. You're supposed to go with BetterHelp, not mediocre help.
Ah, shit. Okay.
Subpar help's okay. It's cheaper.
All right. Well...
Wonderful. Are we ready to hop out of what's going on?
And we're back. That was a short little break, folks. That was fantastic. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Hope you're watering your plants, watering the dog.
Hope you don't water the dog. And we'd like to get into our big topic for the day, and that is Oscar snubs.
Oscar snubs. Sounds like a delicious drink.
We felt...
Schnubba-dub-dub.
What?
I said schnubba-dub-dub.
Ooh.
I love
No
that.
Oscars in the tub.
Woof. Woof. Speaking of dog. My God.
All right.
Okay. You're lucky I'm not there. I would fight you right now.
I know she would.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a reference to the woof comment.
Oh, I tried to kick Mick, but I missed, and I kicked his chair, and I hurt my foot.
Oh, man.
That was what I could do for you today, Alexis.
You hurt your toe.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
So, Oscar snubs.
Films we felt went under-recognized or unrecognized by the Academy.
Yeah.
I mostly went with things that were nominated and didn't win.
Okay.
But there's a few...
They just didn't get a nomination at all.
Yeah, a few nominations that didn't happen that I feel were insane.
Okay.
Obviously, one of my favorite films of all time, The Thing. Even though that is not an Oscar-y movie.
Right.
Where was it in makeup?
That's for real.
The greatest special effects makeup of all time.
Yeah.
And the fact
Rob
that
Bottin, man.
Yeah, the fact that it was not nominated was insane. Also, it was nominated at the Razzies for Worst Original Score.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, the Razzies have always fucking sucked.
Fuck them, man.
Yeah,
That's stupid.
Just one of the best film scores of all time.
Not
just
appreciating Ennio Morricone.
Yeah. And then the two recent acting nomination snubs that I want to bring up are Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler.
Okay.
Which
he was nominated, right?
Was not nominated.
He was not even nominated.
He wasn't even nominated, and I think he was better than the performance that won and all of the ones that were nominated that year. Eddie Redmayne in The Theory of Everything, which is...
I never saw that. I'm not an Eddie Redmayne fan.
I'm not a Redmayne boy.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I don't think I've ever seen him in anything that I've enjoyed.
I'm a big Eddie Redmayne fan, but even I thought The Theory of Everything, I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
And then the other actor who was not nominated, which I think is crazy, is Ethan Hawke for First Reformed.
Oh, yeah.
He's incredible in that movie. He wasn't even nominated.
Yeah. Great film.
Yeah, that movie, I'll also transition into my things that were nominated but didn't win their category. First Reformed was nominated for Original Screenplay its year and didn't win, which I think is nuts.
Okay.
So, yeah. Those are a few from me.
I have two that have been bugging me for a very long time. I'm going to go with, I think the easiest one, low-hanging fruit here, is Do the Right Thing losing Best Picture to Driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Fuck that, yeah.
Yeah.
Do the Right Thing wasn't nominated.
No, it
for
was
Best
not
Picture.
even nominated.
It also didn't win Best Original Screenplay, which it absolutely should have.
Like that movie was so fucking, it feels intentionally slept on. It's so good. That is, sometimes awards from the 80s and 90s, I particularly feel like they just have not aged well, and that is right up there. Now, to be fair, I've never seen Driving Miss Daisy, and I'll be honest with you, I don't really plan to, because it just doesn't seem like something that seems entertaining. Why? I don't know. The only thing about it that if I ever go on a Morgan Freeman marathon, I might throw it on, but it just doesn't interest me.
Well, yeah, it's tough for most movies to be better than Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
That's just kind of a seminal work of American filmmaking.
Yeah.
Let alone something that year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I am doubtful that if I watch Driving Miss Daisy, I will come away thinking,
yeah,
you know what? Totally deserved.
Another, I have 4 total. The other one I'm going to say is, it still hurts me to say this. Inglourious Bastards did not win Best Original Screenplay and lost to Hurt Locker.
I have that written down as being snubbed for picture, director, and screenplay.
Yeah, it's just come on.
Yeah.
I think Tarantino has even said, when he's lost Oscars before, he's not really upset. He doesn't really care. The one time he was angry was when losing Best Original Screenplay to Hurt Locker. He was legitimately fucking really? When was the last time either of you saw Hurt Locker?
Exactly. Yeah.
Never.
You've never seen it?
No.
You're not missing much.
Yeah, it's not that good. It's really it's another movie that is of its moment, but then it doesn't really age well.
Is that also somewhere around, I don't know, Army or stuff like that?
Yeah, it's
I'm just not drawn to watching movies that have that as the central theme.
I'm not a big Iraq War era war
premise,
movie guy.
I guess.
Yeah, I feel like most Iraq War era movies aren't really saying anything about the ethics of that war.
No,
it's mostly just wasn't it hard on our boys?
Don't IED suck?
Yeah, it's well, maybe we don't have to fucking be there.
I've actually never really thought about why I don't like those until now, and it's true. It's just, that's why.
Yeah, it's not like fucking Vietnam movies that like often have something to say about like
this war fucking sucks because look what we did to these people and look what it did to us and just all around sucks. Okay, so then 2 performance snubs are I correct me if I'm wrong, but these are 2 actors they didn't even get nominated. 2 best supporting actor noms that should have happened, and these should have been Academy Award winning performances. Delroy Lindo was not nominated for Da 5 Bloods.
Yeah, let me look that up. I think you're right.
That is, to this day, one of the best performances I've ever seen. Like, he just he puts everything into it. He really looks like he's losing his fucking mind. There's this one scene, and they shot this actually in the jungles of Vietnam, where he's hacking his way through the bush, and he's speaking to the camera. Defy Blood, that's a Spike Lee film if you haven't saw it. I think it was a Netflix original. Yeah. Which Jonathan Majors is in that. I just remembered that. I think it was another movie I saw him in. Really, really good. Delroy Lindo. Was he nominated?
Was not.
No, he should have, and he should have fucking won if he had been nominated. And the other one is, speaking of Lighthouse, Willem Dafoe was not nominated for Lighthouse.
Oh, damn. Okay.
As best supporting actor.
Right in line, same year, Adam Sandler, Uncut Gems, was not nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah,
and should have won.
It's stupid. Who did win Best Actor in 2019?
I don't remember.
Huh.
Oh, wait, no. That was that was Joaquin Phoenix for Joker.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a bad year, guys. That's the one that I was going to bring up. Was that year Green Book won for Best Picture?
2019 Oscars, yes. We're talking about the Oscars for 2019 movies.
So technically be 2020 Oscars.
But which was a good Oscars because that was Parasite.
That's right.
But sorry, 2018, you are
2019.
fucking bleak.
The
2019 Oscars.
No, because it's like, because you had Roma and The Favorite to choose from, and you chose Green Book?
Roma's
what
so
the
good.
Fuck?
Yeah, I still haven't seen Roma.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I missed it.
Holy fuck.
It's really good.
You remember that assignment we had by our professor David Shear of A Treatise to Our World?
Shouts out, David.
You remember that?
Oh my God.
I modeled my short film after Roma. I had seen it like the week before we got that assignment, and I was super inspired by the camera movement because Alfonso Cuarón was the DP and director of that movie, if you recall. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to do, because you have to get this shot, this shot, this shot, this shot, and I wanted to do it all in a single oneer if I could. And it was very much inspired from Roma because that's such a goddamn gorgeous, very powerful film. It's very close to Alfonso Cuarón. Yeah,
I just can't believe that, like, between the acting, the costuming, like, okay, so like for like The Favorites, take for instance, you know, the acting, the costuming, like the different, like the fucking lenses that they used for that movie, and for that to not be like the pick maybe, or Roma, where it's like the cinematography was just so beautiful, and then you have this story that's just like entrenched in like historical like artifact, you know, and is also still telling a very personable story.
The sets they built were amazing for that, and the earthquake sequence, incredible.
I also just like, The Favorite was another movie that I almost wrote down on my list because both it and First Reformed got beat out in original screenplay by Green Book.
Really?
Fuck off,
dude. What in the actual fuck?
Wait, hold
like
on.
The Favorite
Who
is
here
so
has seen
funny,
Green Book?
You know.
You have.
I have.
Okay, because I haven't. I can talk shit just because other people talk shit, but I do want it stated for the record I actually haven't seen it. But Alexis, you have. Therefore, you are justified in your anger, it sounds like, because you've actually seen the damn thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me look back at this list really quick, but I think I can tell you, like, fucking motherfucker.
Sing my angel.
Yeah, so that year it was Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Black Panther, Black Klansman, Green Book, Vice, A Star Is Born, and Roma. And I've seen every single movie on that list. I've seen every movie.
Up to you. That's a rough Oscar year.
Yeah, that is a rough one indeed.
There's like a couple movies on there where I'm like, that's a very good movie.
Right.
And then there's a few where I'm like, what were we talking
about? Personally, I loved A Star Is Born, but I love my.
It was okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with this. That's one of the less embarrassing noms on that
and
list.
And then
I think
Black Klansman's got my boy Adam Driver in it. So.
Oh my god! Wow. Congratulations!
Yeah, that's great.
It all comes back to Adam Driver.
That's
Congratulations,
Black Klansman. Is Adam Driver.
I managed to rework him back into the episode.
He was the only actor nominated from that movie.
Woof. God damn it. I need to stop saying woof. Wow. There's too many disappointing things on this show so far.
Well, it's only going to get worse because I'm going to talk about some historic ones.
Oh, God.
For one thing, I'm going to say Raiders of the Lost Ark losing picture, director, and score. It lost at least picture and score to Chariots of Fire, which... It's not a movie that's
it's a catchy
really
song.
Yeah, but it's not the Indiana Jones theme.
Well, it was kind of like a breakthrough because it was like the first time that they were really doing like synthy kind of noises, I guess, or whatever.
And like an Oscar movie, John Carpenter had been doing it.
Yeah, no, they've been doing that shit since the 50s. Forbidden Planet was the first one that had synthetic music in it.
No, but Alexis is right. It was kind of a breakthrough synth score.
I mean, it's a breakthrough synth score, but like it'd been going on for a very long time. So I don't know why is that a breakthrough score?
I'd have to look it up, and I don't really want to. I don't feel like it.
Yeah. And to be fair, I'm about to lose all of my. You know what? Actually, no. I'm not even gonna.
No, you gotta go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
I was about to say, I'm about to lose all my credibility in my argument, like right now at this moment, by telling you the reason why I know that is because of the movie, the 2006 movie, The Holiday.
Oh my god, yeah, that's also why I know that.
Oh god.
Because Jack Black talks about it, and plays a film composer
He's
in that
fucking
movie.
Incredible in that movie.
No, he really is.
We should have gotten.
He's the best part of that movie.
Acts Kate Winslet off the screen, which is crazy.
Well, to be fair, I feel like she's not given nearly as interesting of a role as maybe he kind of is.
It's just that Jack Black secret sauce. He's so fucking watchable.
Is Jack Black? Yeah. Yeah, he really is. I love that man.
That's the next obsession. It's going to be Jack Black.
Good.
Start with School of Rock.
I've already been there. My mom was really liked him when I was growing up, so I've seen most of Jack Black's movies multiple times.
That only increases your credibility.
Yeah, that's you've gotten some more street cred.
Thank you.
I want to bring up the fact that neither Stanley Kubrick nor Alfred Hitchcock ever won Best Director.
Jesus Christ. Don't say things like that.
Hitchcock was nominated, I think, 4 times. The ones that he was nominated for that I know that I've seen are Psycho and Rear Window.
Okay.
Which he should have won both of those, and Psycho should have won Best Picture. I don't know what came out that year. I don't care.
He should have won for Psycho.
I think Oliver won that year, which is... It's been so long since I've seen that movie. I can't really speak on it, but it's not better.
Stanley
than
Kubrick
Psycho.
never won Best Director? That's what blows my mind.
Yeah.
More so than Alfred Hitchcock. Wow.
Kubrick did win an Oscar, but he won for visual effects on 2001.
Okay, well done. Well deserved.
Wait, I thought he also won for. Wait, no, he didn't win. Was it cinematography or costume design that Barry Lyndon won?
Barry Lyndon won. I don't know.
I want to say it won cinematography.
I hope so.
Regardless, he was nominated for that movie, and he didn't win. He was also nominated for Dr. Strangelove, 2001, and
that movie was ahead of its time.
I believe A Clockwork Orange as well, which very cool Oscar nomination because that is not an Oscar movie.
No.
So
why are we talking about Oscar snubs?
Well, because I'm in a complicated... I have complicated feelings about the film that we're discussing.
Because the movie we're discussing was not snubbed at all.
The film we're talking about today
it was not.
Spotlight.
Yes.
It's a 2015 drama. It's streaming on HBO Max. It's directed by Tom McCarthy. And this is the synopsis. In 2001, editor Marty Barron of the Boston Globe assigns a team of journalists to investigate allegations against John Gagan, an unfrocked priest accused of molesting more than 80 boys. led by editor Walter Robby Robinson. Reporters Mike Resendez, Matt Carroll, and Sasha Pfeiffer interview victims and try to unseal sensitive documents. The reporters make it their mission to provide proof of a cover-up of sexual abuse within the Roman Catholic Church. So, Spotlight won Best Picture. And I love Spotlight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after watching it today, I'm like, I'm glad this won Best Picture, but
I'm not mad that it won Best Picture.
But what didn't win Best Picture, Zachy boy?
Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, Mad Max Fury Road,
which is kind of like an incredible modern classic.
No, I don't like to throw around the M word, but it is in fact a masterpiece.
Yeah, perfect film.
It's a perfect movie.
But it speaks to how good Spotlight is.
Yes.
That I'm not really mad about it.
Yeah, no, same. Same.
And also, I would say that it kind of goes the other way as well, because Mark Ruffalo was nominated for his performance as Mike Resendez.
Okay.
And did not win.
Who did?
From Bridge of Spies, Mark Rylance, I think.
I still have to watch that.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone also nominated that year for Creed and didn't win.
Interesting.
Oh, he's so good in that movie.
He's good.
But, Mark Ruffalo is so good at saying, it's time, Robby. They knew. And they let it happen.
I know, it's like
kids.
It's like part of one of the climaxes of the movie.
We gotta nail these scumbags. We gotta show them that nobody can get away with this. Not a priest or a cardinal.
A priest, not a cardinal,
pope.
or a freaking pope.
Are you done?
Oh man.
Yeah, this is bullshit.
There you go.
We'll
Alexis,
never be
that's
done.
Michael Keaton's
Yeah, that's
line.
what Robby says right after.
And,
I know,
I just
know
want to
that,
state,
but also
I just want to state for
never
the
be
record
done.
that I watched it today, and I think this is the second time I've seen the movie. And that scene...
You gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
That scene is really heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
Like him saying that is like extremely powerful. So I'm not going to lie. I find it alienating that you guys find that so fucking funny, because in the context of the movie, it's not fucking funny.
It's not even really that I find it funny. I just find it satisfying to say.
It bugs me.
I haven't rewatched this movie since since Zack started that bit, and I started like following along with it. But when I was rewatching it, I was like,
yeah,
I feel
exactly.
conflicted.
Thank you. No, I watched it. I was like, my eyes were like tearing up, and like he's just so fucking angry. He's so fed up, and then but the thing is like in that moment he's not thinking clearly, and that's what Michael Keaton, everyone else in that room is trying to do, which is like, hey, calm down, get this out of your fucking system. But yeah, that's it's not entertaining.
Well,
canceled.
If you're looking for an apology,
you're not.
I'm not giving one. I stand by it, and I will keep doing it.
I'm not looking for it.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that.
Okay.
I hate to say it, Zach. It's better when Mark Ruffalo does it.
What?
It is.
Oh wow!
It's better when he does it.
Yeah, no. I really do love that moment though, because it's like right afterwards you have him going to Sasha is it Pfeiffer? She played by Rachel McAdams, goes to her house and talks to her, and he has this he gives her kind of this revelation of like, kind of like, fuck the church, like, I kind of stepped away from it, but there was always a part of me that like kind of wanted to go back. And it kind of like really sells, like earlier in the film, you have Phil Saviano, one of the survivors of assault. And he talks about how this like robs you of your faith.
Right.
And it's crazy because it's like, obviously like Mark Ruffalo's character, he wasn't assaulted or anything, but even he is like robbed of this, the idea of being able to return to faith at any time in his life. Because he says like, now I can't go back. Like, now it's broken something in me,
Yeah. Alexis, how does this film play as someone who went to Catholic school?
Because I was just going to say, as a secular person, faith doesn't mean shit to me. But to these people, especially that guy where he's talking about, I'm a poor person, you brought up in this community, God is all you have. Like, that's why it's so important for them. But yeah, Alexis, as someone who went to Catholic school, does it affect you differently?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that it necessarily affects me because even in Catholic school, I kind of always felt distant from faith. Like I never really had like a concept of believing in God. Like I never felt that closeness that other people felt, or felt that adherence to the system, I guess, of like, oh, you know, this is what we believe in and therefore we believe in it. I always had questions, and the answers I was given always made me like question things more. So, but I mean, when this story broke, I was in the second grade going to Catholic school. And, you know, like I'd be getting like dropped off to school in the morning. And my mom was always like very like conscious of just like making sure that I was safe, and like always making sure that I knew that like I could always come to her if somebody like did anything to me. But I do very much remember like her specifically saying like, and it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if they're a teacher. Doesn't matter if, you know, they're a friend or
a priest or a cardinal
or a freaking
pope.
Yeah, no, literally, like she like doesn't matter if it's a priest or anything. Like you can tell me. But it's, you know, that's also, it's like a weird thing to think of just like, you know, like don't worry, like if sexual assault happens to you, like you can tell me, now go to school at this like Catholic church. And you don't really understand like
that's a hell of a
where
sentence.
This is like coming from. But it's literally like part of it is because like that fucking news story broke in Boston, and then it broke everywhere in the fucking world, you know?
Oh yeah. It made a fucking splash.
And so I would like to be commended for dropping some serious coin on this episode.
Yeah, Zack actually, he dropped a lot of money on this.
I spent $1 on a subscription to the Boston Globe so I could read the stories.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
That's
incredible.
right. So everyone praise me.
Send me that sneaky link, boy.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I'm going to do that. But one detail... First of all, incredible writing.
Yeah.
I read the story that you see Mike writing at the end of the film, which is focused on John Gagan and the fact that Cardinal Law knew that he was molesting kids for years and just kept moving him around. So I read that one. I read the second part of that article, which was written by Sasha Pfeiffer. And I believe it's the Pfeiffer article that ends with a quote from a priest who was removed for abusing kids and admitted to it, saying, like, calling out the Catholic Church for protecting him. And he says, what they were protecting was their notion that the church is a perfect society. If the archdiocese really wanted to protect its other priests from scandal, they would have gotten those of us who abuse children out of there much earlier.
Yeah.
Which really speaks to just like the systemic, like just absolute injustice and corruption. The fact that someone who benefited from this was like, yeah, that was really fucked up that the Catholic Church was doing that. It's just like... This movie is kind of a weird comfort movie for me, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but both the film and these articles just like put the scale of this systemic abuse in such stark relief that it makes your blood fucking boil. It makes you so mad.
When you walked in on me watching it, I was like saying I had forgotten how much this movie makes me angry. And how sad it is. There's so many lines in this film that are so good, but one is I really like it when the priest says, knowledge is one thing, but faith is another. Which to me, I interpret that as basically the movie is saying that the church is above consequence. That's what that's saying. You can throw facts and truth at us, but it is superseded by faith. And that really does, as you were just describing and alluding to, that this is such a good David versus Goliath story, which is why out of, the three arguably best newspaper films, Zodiac, All the President's Men, and Spotlight, I think that the two real, the sister films, the companion pieces, are Spotlight and All the President's Men. Because All the President's Men is about Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, two Washington Post journalists who take on the executive branch of the U.S. government and the FBI.
Yeah.
Watergate. Yes. This is a group of 4 journalists who take on the Catholic Church in Boston, but it's bigger than that. It's bigger than the executive branch of the U.S. government. This goes all the way to the Vatican.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is an international organization dating back thousands of years.
Thousands of years. It's like that line in the movie, "The Church Thinks in Centuries."
Yeah.
Is so true. I mean, this has been going on. It really
we can
does.
bring up other lines from Spotlight.
It really there's so many good ones. Really, it's another really good line is when you have Garabedian, who
such a fucking good performance.
Great performance. Look, if you're gonna how do we make Garabedian instantly likable? You cast Stanley Tucci.
You get the Tucci.
You get the Tucci. You get the Tucci.
That man is such a good cook. Have you ever seen any of his
there.
TikTok videos? Wonderful chef.
No.
I've seen a little bit of his his cooking show.
I've read some of his cookbook.
Oh, you guys are so cute.
And
so we all have...
Yeah, it was, because goodbye TikTok. I can't fucking wait. Oh my God, I'm counting down the days. But anyways, big night, great film. When I started watching this movie in the first 10 minutes, I was immediately brought comfort because I love a movie where you have great fucking actors playing great fucking characters. That's a simple thing, but right there, Michael Keaton, Rachel McAdams, Mark Ruffalo, the guy with the mustache. Great mustache, by the way. That's a good movie stash. I enjoyed the stash. You have Richard Jenkins coming in as Richard Sipe. Which, again, it's another great little casting choice.
Yeah, and he never appears on screen.
He never does, which is too bad, because he's one of my favorite character actors.
Because one of the things that this is kind of what you were talking about earlier, is did this kind of change your perception of the church in your eyes? And one of the things I really like that he said is that the church is an institution, Mike, made of men. My belief is in the eternal. And I really wish that is the point of view that a lot of people would take with the church, is to recognize that it is an institution made of men, a Bible written by men, and that, if you're going to have a belief in something, be it in the actual higher power that you believe in,
Yeah.
Organized religion is a desecration of faith.
Who said that?
Somebody. I don't remember who.
All right.
I just remember someone saying that once.
Yeah, I don't know.
Julia Childs.
This movie also just got me thinking about the fucking conservative talking point that's Hollywood is so degenerate. It's full of pedophiles and abusers, and I'm well, that is not necessarily an unfair assessment after some, but fuck you. You are the kind of people who are dropping your kids off to religious institutions who systemically abuse children. Get off your fucking high horse. The grooming is coming from inside the house.
I know what I'm about to say is problematic, but I'm going to step in it a little bit. Look, obviously, the Church of Scientology deserves the ire that it gets.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Fuck you.
But at the end of the day, if I have to choose one religious institution that knocks Scientology out of the fucking ballpark with its audacity, it's the goddamn Vatican. It's the Catholic Church.
Yeah. Also, the Pope has never hung on to the side of a plane. And until he does...
Yeah. Thank you. No, you know what?
I can't believe you guys are fucking shaking hands over that. Jesus Christ.
Really? Because I can't. That's the only problem with Spotlight, is it's not a Mission Impossible.
Jesus Christ.
Fired. You're all done for the day. Take off.
Alexis, I'm seeing you're holding a big page of notes, and I'd like to know what that is.
Did you rip that from the Bible?
You wish. No desecration of Bibles, unfortunately. So when I was in 2017, I wrote an essay that referenced this op-ed piece from the New York Times called "The Banality of Systemic Evil" by Peter Ludlow. But basically, it kind of it refers back to an original term, "The Banality of Evil," by this woman Hannah Arendt, who was doing Yeah,
Right.
this like kind of covering this trial of this guy who was basically not necessarily like in the Nazi regime, like really fully. He was more of like a
he
middleman, kind of. You know, he was part of the final
he was
solution.
a Nazi, though.
You know, like
Yes.
doing the like doing the paperwork basically and all that stuff. You know, and
Yes.
anyways, but so she had a lot of like critiques on like what she had written, but what he's specifically talking about is slightly different. And is it okay if I kind of read a little bit of this? Because I took like some notes from the essay that I wrote.
Go for it.
Okay, so it says, the banality of evil is a statement about what happens when people play their proper roles within a system, following prescribed conduct with respect to that system, while remaining blind to the moral consequences of what that system was doing, or at least compartmentalizing and ignoring those consequences. Which was the idea of banality of evil is made famous by Hannah Arendt, and it details the ideal that in order to properly function, there must be a certain level of obedience to the system. And another thing that Peter Ludlow says is that recognizing systemic evil does not require rank of intelligence, just honesty of vision. And I said that this suggests that like while anybody in the organizational chain has the power to see these systems malfunction, they have to choose to see them. And I really liked kind of that idea. And when they talk about who's to blame, before Robby admits that he ran Metro when they buried the clip on the 20 priests, because it's just kind of like all the crumbs were there for them to follow like the entire time, but somebody just really had to like Barron says, is to shine a light, you know. And I really like that comes
a spotlight.
Yeah, exactly, that's I was about to say this. Like I love that comes at the end, because it brings a new meaning to their whole team of like spotlight, you know, to shine a light on that. And then basically that like this like reporting on this stuff, because Peter Ludlow is specifically talking about like whistleblowers and stuff back in like 2013, you know, like Chelsea Manning and Edward Snowden and things like that. And so he was saying that like it's a certain type of like civil disobedience essentially, and that for this purpose it's the symbolic violation of given protocol rather than the rejection of the entire system in question, because usually civil disobedience is like, you know, like it's, you know, having to do with like actual laws, but this is rather like more like moral law, you know. It's not a real tangible law that somebody is like signed into being. It's just what we accept, you know. So
Yeah.
Anyways, the very last part of it was clearly there is a moral principle at work in the actions of the leakers, whistleblowers, and hacktivists and those that support them, because there can be no expectation that the system will act morally upon its own accord. So, looking at the situation this way, it's the absence of morality in an institution that forces others to act upon their own moral codes, which is, you know, essentially what, you know, reporters have to do. And like pretty much all those people that ended up going on the record and, you know, ended up talking to those reporters, they had to act upon their own moral code, because the church was acting without morality.
Nice.
I heard someone recently on another unrelated podcast say something like they only trust humans as individuals because they believe that humans are have inherent good, but they don't trust humans as a collective because of things kind of what we're describing here.
Like saying like a person is smart, people are dumb, stupid, panicky animals.
Right. It's kind of what it reminds me of a little bit.
Yeah. Kind of.
Well, that kind of reminds me of like, so like one of the things that the Richard. Like one of the ladies says, like when they're like doing like the little montage and interviewing people, she says, "Oh, were you feeling like pressure from the church?" And she's like, "Well, not just the church, you know, from my friends and from the other parishioners."
Yeah, from my fellow parishioners. You know?
And that see, those moments,
Mormonism.
those are what hurt me. And, you know, especially when Saviano says like they rob you of your faith. Like, I think I wrote this down, but so like when you're a poor kid from a poor family, church matters a lot. And it's like church provides a sense of community and belonging, especially when you're poor in a world that like sees you as being like beneath others, essentially. And so, but we're all equal in the eyes of God. And that's what you're like supposed to believe, like in the faith, right? Is that we're all equal underneath the eyes of God. So you kind of see that extension in the eyes of like the priests that you encounter, that they have that same ideology, you So for them to pervert and that ideology, that's so fucking hurtful to your sense of belonging in the world and your community, Yeah,
they're robbing you of that as well. Also, just real quick on the banality of evil, Hannah Arendt was covering the trial of Adolf Eichmann. Just want to get that in there because I feel like there are people screaming at us right now.
Yeah, thank you for the assist.
There we go.
I know. I meant to say Adolf Eichmann, but it was on the back of my page, so I think
There we go.
I meant to say his name, but also the essay I wasn't actually talking about her essay, so. He kind of mentions something from her, and I did actually read her piece earlier today, but I don't really agree with kind of what she had to say. So
yeah, she's kind of a complicated figure.
Complicado.
There's quite a lot of critiques of what she had to say, and I can see where a lot of them are coming from.
For sure. Anyways, Spotlight.
I would like to get into why it's a comfort film for me.
Go for it.
Because I brought it up earlier, and I can understand how that might be a little confusing, as this is an incredibly dark film.
Zack, I'm a little confused when you say that. This is an uncomfortable movie. How could it be comfortable for you?
Well, what I find comforting about Spotlight is I like a movie where institutions are functioning in a way that bends towards justice, because I feel like that so rarely actually happens in life.
Yes.
And even though this movie is infuriating and is, filled with systemic abuse, it is about people who care about doing the right thing and bringing systemic abuse to light, and they do their fucking jobs.
Then you really should watch other Mark Ruffalo movie, Dark Waters.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out.
Not nearly as good as Spotlight, but it is.
I was planning on watching that this week. I just ran out of time.
It's on the shelf.
It sure is. But yeah, it's something that I love about Zodiac. That that's a film about someone who gets obsessed with solving this case because. A grave injustice has been done, and it seems like nobody cares.
Yeah. I might watch that tonight, actually.
Great film.
Do we have that on the shelf?
Oh, buddy, we sure do.
Yes, we do. We don't have Spotlight on the shelf.
Which is fucked,
Which is not, yeah, after rewatching this, is there anything more you have to say about it being a comfort film?
My little blurb about why I find Spotlight to be comforting.
Well, I would like to talk about, very quickly, a fantastic, this is a film. I would like to talk about a great shot in this movie.
Yeah, because the craft of this movie is largely pretty invisible. This is a very understated film.
It's an unstylized film.
Yeah, there are not a ton of showy camera moves. It is the opposite.
Zack, if this is an unstylized picture, how does one bring style to the end product?
Well, if I may, Zack, I know that question was for you, but I'll go ahead and answer it. Well, there's one way that we can...
I'm going to throw you off a goddamn building.
One thing that's fantastic about this film is, and I know people talked about this all the time when it came out, but so often when, they actually shot in Boston, thank God, you have so many shots, especially when you have the montage of them going door to door, house to house, and asking people about their experiences. You have church spires in the background. Like, the Catholic Church is both metaphorically and literally casting a large dark shadow on this entire community. Yeah. And that's beautiful. Shot, Alexis, I know you're asleep over there, but one other thing that you've mentioned that you really like is when you have a church with the playground in front of it.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's really tough. That's another really great image. But the one shot I want to talk about is where you have the Spotlight journalists in their office, and they're all on the phone with Richard Sipe. And he's talking about how they're mentioning, okay, we have 13 confirmed priests here.
Yeah, which would be a huge fucking problem.
Which is a huge problem, and that's a huge splash. I'm like, if you saw that on a headline today, 13 priests accused.
Quite a big story.
That's a big story. He says that seems statistically off. In the 30 years I've been studying this, we find that 6% of priests
act out with minors.
Sexual misconduct and abuse with minors. And out of all of the priests, that comes to around 90. And the shot starts, it's about a full shot. And everyone is large within frame when they start the conversation because they're feeling good. They have a solid story. They're going to bring this to light. They have 13 confirmed cases. That's a huge story. And by the end of Richard Sipe talking about how you have far more digging to do, this is much bigger than you realize, the camera is dollying back slowly and slowly and slowly. You almost don't even notice it. It's so slow. And by the end of the shot, once it's revealed of how gargantuan, how monumental this conspiracy likely goes, the camera is far away in the corner, and our team that looked so big in the beginning of the shot is now so incredibly small.
Yeah.
Because it really does visually represent probably how they feel, first of all, having that conversation, but also just how far away they are from the true goal of this, which is to indict the system. Which is something that was, what's the name of the editor? Played masterfully by Liv Schreiber.
Liv Schreiber's so good.
He's so good in this.
Marty Baron plays the editor.
Marty Baron
is the editor. He doesn't just play him.
He's the guy that basically says, look, like we kind of attempted this before and it hit the wall and nothing happened.
Yeah.
We have to go after this. Like, show me proof that this is a systemic issue, which is so smart. And oh God. So sorry. There's a bit here where when he's having his meeting, his meeting with the archdiocese, is it, or is it the cardinal?
Yeah, the cardinal who is in charge of the cardinal.
The cardinal. He talks about how he once was working in a newspaper. There's a cardinal talking. I once worked as a newspaper editor in Mississippi, and they looked at me as a meddling outsider. And in his experience, people flourish and organizations in Boston flourish, and they would do well to work together.
Yeah, when their great institutions work together.
And I love how he just so calmly claps back going, well, all due respect, in my experience is journalism thrives when it stands alone. Oh, I get chills. Fuck. That is such a good scene. And I also love how another character later on alludes to the fact that Liv Schreiber is a meddling outsider because he's Jewish.
Yeah, Garabedian brings that up.
Right.
He says it takes an outsider.
Right, exactly. But I was referring to the other guy who works for the church.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, he was in New York. He made his splash. He went to Miami. He made his splash. He made his money. He's coming here to do this. He's going to be gone soon. He's not one of us, I think is what he says.
Yes.
He's not basically one of us. You, on the other hand, you're going to be here. You're going to be with us for a while.
Where are you going to go,
Where
Robby?
are you going to go? Which is also a thinly veiled threat. Too. Not only I think it's anti-Semitic what he's saying, and I also think he is.
You also think?
I think.
You also think?
I think that he's having a dig at Michael Keaton. Oh, one more thing I have to say that I really like about this, and then I'm done. Well, not completely done, but I'm done with my spiel. Is I've mentioned it before. I really love Ron Howard's The Paper. It's another newspaper movie from the 90s starring Michael Keaton, and in the first meeting of everybody. Where you see everyone having a meeting with the newspaper editors and you have all the different things. You have Michael Keaton, who's not sitting at the table. He's sitting up on the climate control shelf thing. He's just kind of sitting there with his legs crossed. He's just kind of listening to everybody, which is exactly what his character does in The Paper. It's so great. It's so satisfying as a fan of that film, who he plays a newspaper editor in that movie from the 90s, and then to see him 20 years later practically playing the same guy.
If you're a big paperhead, I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I mean, he played Batman. That's cool. But have you seen The Paper with Randy Quaid, and Michael Keaton, and Marissa Tomei, and Glenn Close, and Robert Duvall? The cast just keeps getting bigger and grander. All right, well, I've done my thing.
Alexis, do you have anything to add?
We're kind of. She's laying down over here on Zoom. We don't know if she's listening or not. Are you listening?
She's in her honk shoe era.
Yeah, I mean, I have headphones on, so of course I'm listening. And I'm not laying down. I'm just sitting back. But yeah, no, I don't have anything else to say.
About the movie?
I don't know. You touched on some of the things I took some notes on. So
Zack.
Well, I wanted to bring up a little fun tidbit from a podcast that I listened to earlier this week called The Fifth Estate. Mm-hmm. They did an episode on investigative journalism, and they interviewed Mike Resendiz, who Mark Ruffalo plays, and he said that his favorite sequence in the movie is the montage where they are putting together the database of the designations in all the directories of the priests.
Yeah, I love that part too.
Well, Mike Resendiz loves it because he was like, I was so impressed how dramatic they made that because that was the
Sure doesn't feel dramatic in the moment.
Yeah, he was like, that took months and it was just mind-numbingly slow work.
Tedious.
So I thought that was fun. Also, the co-hosts of that podcast like bring up, wow, Ruffalo really like nailed your voice because he does sound like just fucking like him. So that was my fun fact.
Love that.
Oh, cool.
Alexis, do you have any other observations or thoughts? Anything you'd like to give a shout out?
Oh, you know the guy who plays Patrick? It's the guy that is one of Garabedian's clients.
Yes.
And so his name in real life is Jimmy LeBlanc. And you remember how I watched that movie Boston Strangler,
Yes.
which is also a newspaper movie?
Yes.
He's also in Boston Strangler.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Like when I was watching Boston Strangler, I literally heard his voice and I was like, I know this man. I know this man in Spotlight.
Yeah. He's like a great Boston character actor because he's also in that Jake Gyllenhaal movie about the Boston Marathon, Stronger, which I have not seen.
I've heard that's good.
And
Is that a
he's
Peter
in
Weir film?
Might be.
The person
No,
is
Peter
it not?
Weir did Patriots Day. The Mark Wahlberg one. Hey, if I was there, the Boston Marathon bombing, it wouldn't have gone down like that.
It wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been there.
But
The person I had lunch with yesterday, she's an executive assistant in his office.
wow, well there you go.
Apparently Peter
Jimmy
Weir-
LeBlanc is also in Gone Baby Gone.
Peter Weir apparently has his office is littered with Winston Churchill portraits.
That's weird.
Yes. Right? As soon as I heard that, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
That gives me the ick. What? Oh, there's something else I wanted. Oh, go ahead, Alexis.
On the day of 9/11, I really enjoyed the fact that they pulled down from the Boston skyline.
Yep.
So, I'm sorry, was that funny? Because I said the thing that I enjoy about the day of 9/11.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
That,
That's why it's funny.
that jumped out as an isolate that audio
isolate
moment.
that audio right there. No, I'm with you, Alexis. I was like, only Spotlight could make 9/11 seem like a frustrating speed bump.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just meant that was like something like it's that, like you said, it's a very understated visual thing. Like that was another thing that I like noted was like when the camera pulls out during the 6% scene, like the fact that like the day that 9/11 happens, like you start on a wide shot of the skyline of Boston. And then you pull down to see people like going into the Boston Globe, you know, and then of course that's the snafu is 9/11.
Yeah.
That's how I describe 9/11 as snafu. You're right, Alexis.
Jesus fucking Christ, guys.
Snafu. Wow.
Oh, I can't use any
Of
of this.
Of the movie. You know what? Whatever. I don't know. I feel like I've misspoke this whole episode.
No, you're good. You're good.
You're good.
You're the problem.
Yeah.
I'm great.
Yeah, that guy, he just doesn't get us.
We're talking about you. I know that this was another thing that Resendiz mentioned on the Fifth Estate, which I'll link this episode in the show notes. But he talked about how that was, you know, such a like issue for them, and like they had to stop writing the story. They had to put the Catholic Church sex abuse scandal story on hold because the planes flew out of Boston.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I got excited at that point in the movie because I was like, oh, okay. So while everyone is focused on 9/11, it can give the Spotlight crew, like, it buys some time a little bit so they can continue to work on their story. But yeah, everyone just got completely reassigned.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I understand.
Yeah.
Because again, they flew out of Boston Airport. You're going to have to kind of figure out how that happened.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on is probably what they were asking. Another great line in this film is, if it takes a village to raise a child, then it takes a village to abuse one.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
arguably could have been the fucking tagline of this film on its poster. Like, there's just so many.
100%.
There's so many great lines in this film. Also, another great bit is when you have the church choir singing Silent Night over top shots of the Spotlight team gearing up to expose the very same church for preying on children.
It's when Resendiz is writing the first article.
Yeah, that's very, very powerful. Also, this movie, I want to commend it on its pacing. It's no time is wasted in this film.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. I think a great little example of that is when we learn about Garabedian for the first time. This is in the beginning of the movie. And the 4 Spotlight journalists are in their office and they mentioned the Garabedian's name. And then Rachel McAdams says, "Oh, yeah, I know him." And immediately Michael Keaton goes, "Do you know if there's a way we can get to him?" Bang. Cut to Garabedian. It wastes no fucking time. Like, I feel like these journalists likely wasted no fucking time either. So we have to, I mean, once this thing is set off, the dominoes are just falling all the way. And I can't think of a single moment in this movie that drags.
Yeah, well, I know that Resendiz also brought up that this was like a fairly quick investigation for them because it lasted, I think he said 4 months.
Right.
Which, is long for most other, people who work in the newspaper because you're in the daily business.
Yeah.
But for, a long-term investigative team, that's fairly quick.
Yeah. I love,
I don't know.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I love it when, so sorry, remind me of Liv Schreiber's name again.
Marty Baron?
Marty Baron, during their first meeting, talks about how he's really desiring to file a legal motion to have the church documents unsealed. Oh, so you want to sue the Catholic Church? And you immediately see Michael Keaton's character look like excited. Like, because, everyone's a little worried about this guy coming in. Is he here to cut like jobs or what's the deal? And then he hears him say that and he goes, "Oh, I'm probably going to get along with this guy.
This guy's got cojones."
Yeah. And then he goes down and he tells everybody else, like, "Oh, he wants to sue the church." And then Mark Ruffalo is like, That's great. Yeah. So immediately, because also it says so much about their characters where I'm like, okay, this is a gutsy gang of muckrakers right here, where you have, that's copyrighted. You have these people that are just
what year is it?
These gutsy gang of muckrakers over here.
What the fuck?
Watch out for that Hitler. He's a bad egg.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you learn so much about him. Like, okay, these people are going to stop at fucking nothing. Because you say something like, "Oh, we're going to do something that no one's ever done before. We're going to fucking sue the church." It's like, oh, okay. Challenge accept. Like, throw the gauntlet. Let's pick it fucking up. Let's do this. Come on. The fact that they're so excited that they're whipped into action, these gutsy gang of muckrakers, that it's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting stuff, indeed. Alexis?
Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy that this movie, it feels like nothing's wasted. You open with a scene where like there's an obvious cover up happening right before our very eyes, and it gives us a chance to see how mundane that these cover-ups have become to the police officers. And then you get into this 10:30 meeting within the first like 15 minutes of the movie, and it shows us that like while people have thoughts, because people have some kind of like thoughts about the Gagin case, but a lot of them still have this faith in the church, and that's why everybody's just like, you want to sue the church, you want to sue nobody's gonna like that, and these are all things that are essentially allowing these scenes to happen. In every scene, like with Marty Baron, he goes and has this meeting with the cardinal, and the cardinal, essentially, I don't know, without what is the word that I'm looking for?
Stating?
Threatening him. He's so threatening.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's so threatening.
Yep.
Like he hands a man of Jewish faith a thing of the catechism.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's bold.
Yeah.
That is a bold move there, Cotton.
Well, it's a bold organization.
Oh, again, it always comes back to dodgeball.
It does come back to
so
dodgeball.
impressed.
Hell yeah,
I'm so impressed
and
with
just
the
the way
lore
that,
we've
like,
built.
And just the way that people like refer to Cardinal Law like throughout the movie, he almost sounds like more of like a mythic figure with the way that his influence extends, and like
He kind of is.
that even like comes down. Yeah, that even like comes down to like one scene like towards the end where they say that like Cardinal brought down the power of God on them during the Porter case. Where like somebody broke their leg or something skiing or some shit. Yeah, but the casual conversations throughout this movie are so good. They feel so natural.
I was gonna give a shout out to that because it reminds me a lot of Moneyball in terms of just like it's based on a true story, and you just have all of these actors who just are playing it so straight that it feels like you're watching a documentary. It's just so unstylized. Everything seems so natural, and every performance, no matter how big or small, just seems so well realized and well performed. It's a delight.
Yeah,
it's hard to watch, but it's a delight. Speaking of Moneyball, I gotta say, another thing I enjoy about this movie, I'm not a big ball fan, but like, if you're going to do a movie about Boston, you have to have the Boston Red Sox in there. And I love that there's a whole scene where you have our spotlight journalist at a ball game at Fenway, and you have the guy from
fun fact
about
that scene, the actual spotlight team is sitting behind them in that scene.
Are they okay, I remember hearing that. Yeah, that is so cool. That was by accident too. They just showed up. They were there at the ball game. That's how common it is over there.
I also want to shout out that we have some crossover from our last episode on The Silence of the Lambs, which you should go check out. Great film.
Oh, really? What's the crossover?
We've got the same composer on this film, Mr. Howard Shore.
The music man himself, Howard Shore.
I love you, Howard.
Oh, we love it.
I love the score for this movie.
Did you know he did Bella's love theme in Twilight? Did I mention that last episode?
You brought that up last time.
Oh, gee whiz. You know the fucked up thing is I'm probably going to mention it again.
Yeah, you know the fucked up thing is
especially since you just got like the Blu-ray collection of the entire Twilight saga.
I did.
You beat me by 1 second.
Yeah, no, I definitely did. I actually went to Best Buy. I told Zack this. I went to Best Buy to get Elvis on 4K Blu-ray, but they didn't have it. But what they did have was Bubba Hotep on 4K Blu-ray. And if you don't know what that is, that is a Bruce Campbell, Ozzie Davis horror film where Bruce Campbell plays Elvis. So in a way,
you got Elvis.
I got Elvis. So I'm not mad about it.
That's the Best Buy where I got Alexis her copy of Elvis.
I went to the one in Burbank.
Oh, okay, different Best Buy.
Yeah, I know.
Should have gone to that one.
I know, I should have.
Do we have anything else pressing that we want to discuss about this film?
Good pun.
Fuck.
Right?
That was good.
That was a good pun. Didn't even realize. That's what made it good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nothing. You know, one of the things that I just really... that is very notable about everybody in this is how everybody's made to sound crazy for how paranoid that they are being about the church. But it's like 100% you should be paranoid with like how far reaching the church is,
yes.
You know? And one of the things that I love that fucking Garabedian says is, he says, I'm not paranoid. I'm just experienced.
Yeah, that's a good line.
Listen, I'm not crazy. I'm not paranoid. I'm experienced.
Yeah.
You know?
I like...
And the thing is that even at that point, like fucking Mike Resendez, he still goes to the courthouse to check to see if those documents are there. And even at that moment, he's still surprised that
the files are empty,
that they're not there. You know, like he's still so surprised that
what do you say?
that those documents are not in the docket, you know? Yeah. And I think that's why his like speech at that part where it's like, you know, the speech.
The part where he goes, "It's time, Robby." They knew and they let it happen to kids. It could have been you. It could have been me. It could have been any of us. We gotta nail these scumbags. We gotta show them that nobody can get away with this. Not a priest, or a cardinal, or a friggin' pope.
Or a friggin' poop.
A friggin' perp.
So,
you delivered that well.
So, yes.
Like a friggin' perp. Need a pizza can and a friggin' perp.
I'm like, please finish, Zach. And I could tell you were waiting for me, so I was like, a friggin' pope.
I was. Sorry, you were saying when he delivers that monologue.
Okay, when he delivers that, and then that next part that I talked about earlier where it's like something broke him, I'm like, I feel like he really still had this idea that the church maybe wasn't as bad, even though at the very beginning of this movie, he's the one who's like, he wants to sue the church, that's great. But even that, like throughout this movie, I think he still has this like small tendril of hope that the church is not as bad as, you know, all this research is kind of piling up to be, because when he does finally read those letters from Cardinal Law, that's what breaks him.
Yeah.
That's what really sends him over the edge of really feeling that like, oh, they've broken my faith in this institution in its entirety.
Yeah.
Those letters are fucking brutal. There's more to them in the
really
actual
are.
articles, and stoked the fires of rage within me. It's just like, it's sickening. It's
It's not good. And another bit
that
of the movie
scene makes even more sense now.
Another bit of the-
and the letter they read in the movie is bad. That's not even the worst one.
something that I really enjoyed about it is when you have Mustache Man realize that there's one of these motherfuckers living down the street from him.
Yeah, the
And-
treatment
Yeah.
center. Also, we've got to stop referring to Brian Darcy James as Maddie Carroll as Mustache Man.
What do you mean we? It's just me doing it.
Well, it's we in the royal sense.
Yeah, it's
only me.
Yeah, it's just you.
So Mustache Man, he's upset that this guy's living
Carol.
in his neighborhood, and it reminded me of that scene from Zodiac where Jake Gyllenhaal is bringing his kid to the school bus, and at the last second decides to pull him off because he knows that there's been threats. I'm going to shoot all the kiddies as they bounce out of the bus. It makes this whole thing real. Now the people that are investigating this stuff, it's affecting their lives. And that is a great scene because then when he realizes that, oh, one of these pieces of shit pedophiles is actually living in my fucking neighborhood, he goes to Michael Keaton and says, you know, can I tell people in my neighborhood who I know have kids that this guy lives here? Because this is actually kind of becoming a fucking problem. I have kids. My neighbors have kids. This is dangerous. And Michael Keaton goes, don't worry, we'll tell them soon. And they realize that you have this kind of tough thing in the movie where the more they hold off on publishing this story, it could make them culpable in a small way.
Yeah, and then you get that scene in Garabedian's office at the end where...
yes, that's another great fucking line.
Says that this kid in his office was molested in the last couple of weeks or something.
Exactly, and he says to Mark Ruffalo...
Keep doing your work.
Yeah, and then I said, because the church will keep doing theirs.
Yeah.
So you have to keep doing your fucking work. So anyways, I thought... Go ahead.
It further solidifies the horror of the end credits because it explains that not only was Cardinal Law removed from his post, but after he was removed from his post, he was placed into the Basilica, which is one of the highest positions you can possibly have within the Catholic Church. And then it goes on to list all the different areas and places where they have uncovered massive amounts of scandal. And it is literally the whole fucking world.
Yes.
Yeah,
you know?
It's a fucking Catholic church.
Okay, I'm so glad you brought up the end credits because I want to bring up another little blurb that I got from, I believe it was the Fifth Estate podcast, or it might have been the Rewatchables who did a solid episode on Spotlight as well. The director, Tom McCarthy, was originally going to put in a title card about how the Spotlight team won the Pulitzer for their reporting on this scandal.
Right.
And the actual members of the Spotlight team were like, don't put that in there.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about.
Yeah.
So, shouts out them. You're all great people.
Good people.
I'm very jealous.
Keep doing your work.
I'm very jealous of my friend Jake, who's met Mike Resendiz, but also if I met Mike Resendiz, I could not be normal.
Yeah.
Because I would do the speech.
Because you'd know how often you fucking quoted
he would
it.
Look at me and he would see it in my eyes.
Yeah. It's I've seen that eyes. I've seen those eyes before.
It's one of those guys who always does the Mark Ruffalo Oscar clip to me.
Yeah.
You know, one of those.
I'm sure that there's got to be a convention of people like you now.
Yeah, it's called This Apartment.
Yeah. Well,
there's a whole fucking thing of movies that are just movies that are meant to inform and instigate and push you to want to keep changing things, and this has definitely got to be one of them.
Yes.
You know, and I'm so glad that they specified that change because they knew that it was never about them and their accomplishments. It was always about the story and what the story can change.
Yeah, and this movie's decidedly very not Hollywood. And, to bring it back to All the President's Men, that was something that the Washington Post reporters were nervous about when Hollywood came knocking, going, we're gonna do Watergate as a movie. And they thought, oh, great. It's going to be all Hollywoodized. It's going to be cliche, and they're just going to completely, kind of like the way they were talking about the Boston Herald, they're going to fuck up this story.
Yeah.
And like all the President's Men, the journalists were kind of relieved to see the final product of, oh, okay, like obviously they had to make some dramatic compromises, some dramatic choices because it's a narrative, but they did it really, oh, Jesus.
They did it really faithfully.
Alexis is putting her feet into the lens right now.
Oh yeah, no, I noticed that, and I thought that was super groovy.
I'm tilting my iPad.
I really like how this. So I think the cool thing about this. Sorry, it's me, guys.
Quentin Tarantino.
I love the film, and I love how Alexis's feet and the feet fuck.
Alexis, put your feet down.
Alexis, you really got to bring the feet to feet.
God.
Guys, I gotta go.
It's the Toesy Woesies.
Sorry, Quentin just headed out.
Yeah, he's our new roommate now.
He looked fully aroused, I have to be honest. So, do we have anything else on the film Spotlight?
I'm good. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it again. Great film.
Yeah, support your local newspaper. Other than stuff like essentially the Washington Post and the New York Times, like print journalism is dying, it's local reporting is like so fucking important. It's something that Resendez harped on in his interview.
How often when you see an article online and you click on it and you begin to read it and then you begin to scroll and it's like, subscribe for $1 and you can read the rest of this article, or $5 a year. How many of you have been like, $5 or $1, fuck this, fine, I'll read it someplace else, and you exit out?
I will neither confirm nor deny that I turn off my JavaScript function so that I can read articles for free.
I see. So Alexis, you're part of the problem.
As opposed to me, who's a hero.
You are a hero because you actually spent hard-earned
money. You know what,
money.
Zach? You're right. I'm going to pay $1 to read these stories. No need to, I don't know.
Alexis, this is such a beautiful view, Alexis. Jesus Christ.
Definitely.
The last 45 minutes.
If you're following us on Instagram, you'll see what we're talking about.
Yes.
Oh my God, did you post that on Instagram?
No, but I will.
No, but it will be.
Oh, no. Well, I'm always leaning forward and my back just can't take it. I can't take the pressure of holding this podcast together. I can't take the pressure of leaning over to look into this camera.
I know.
And now you just have to look at my crotch and that's fine.
All right. Wow.
That's not a great way to end the Spotlight episode.
But that's how it's happening.
It's how we're ending it.
And that's also how we're concluding Academy Darlings.
It's okay.
Yes, Academy Darlings.
Nick called me a dog earlier. I'm just asserting my dominance.
Alexis,
guys, we're moving on.
I want to say, Zack, I want to say, I did not call you a dog. You thought I called you a dog. I was referring to the woof woof sound that I was making. I was not calling you a dog. I am. I'm the dog. Yes, you are the dog. When Harry Met Sally.
Great. This has been a great episode, guys.
This has been a great episode. So, Academy Darlings is over.
And next month, we will be doing the Film Majors April Fools. It's a month of comedy films.
It's a month of comedy.
A month of yucks.
Wow.
I can't wait.
No one saw that coming.
Yeah.
What's our first MILF? What's our first MILF that we're watching?
Jesus fucking Christ.
What?
I tried to say movie.
With your mouth
I tried to say movie and film, but it came out as MILF.
So,
wow.
I have a pick.
Wow.
What?
If we are down for it, then I would like to discuss the 2018 film Game Night. It's directed by...
I don't want to do that one.
Fuck you.
No. That's going to be our first one?
I think so.
Game Night?
Yeah.
It's going to be our girl, Rachel McAdams.
Yeah, back-to-back Rachels. And also, I think we should do it next week because the directors, John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, have a new film coming out.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons!
Hell yeah.
Are you seeing that with... Are you seeing that with your family, Alexis?
I don't know. I might have to see that by myself. I don't know who wants to go see Dungeons and Dragons with me, but I certainly will be.
Anyways,
just
because
give me
Chris
Hugh
Pine
Grant.
is the best Chris.
That's correct.
Yeah,
So,
we're in unanimous agreement on that.
We are unanimous. I will say Chris Evans. I do love you, Chris Evans.
So Yeah, Game Night is a 2018 film directed by John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein.
It's a hilarious
stars
picture.
Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams.
And Jesse Plemons.
Indeed.
It's Fat Plemons, and we love Fat Plemons.
I stand all sizes of Plemons, but I'm partial to a Fat Plemons.
We are partial to the fat.
And you're gonna have to rent this one on Amazon Prime or YouTube.
That's right.
So,
No, not me.
Not us
Not
either.
me. Can't be me because my mom owns that
Hey.
movie.
I own this film as well.
That's right.
So, if you're like us and you have an extensive DVD and Blu-ray collection, congratulations.
You were doing the God's work right there.
And if you'd like to find us on social media,
Please
you can
do.
find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at FilmMajorsPod. And if you want to shoot us an email, please shoot us an email. We want to hear from
When
you.
was the last time someone emailed us?
It's been a while.
Oh my God!
And it's been
Mitchie's
even
going
longer
to town
since
on Alexis right now.
It's been even longer since someone who was not in my family emailed us. You can email us at filmmajorspod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Give us a suggestion of a film you'd like us to talk about. Tell us what some of your favorite comedies are.
Yes.
And
Because I don't think we have our month figured out yet.
we don't have a ton of stuff set other than this
So
next
then,
one.
listeners, if there's a comedy that you feel has not gotten its due service, its due attention, tell us what it is, and we may in fact cover it on this show.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Jury's out.
Jury's out.
Alrighty, folks.
Well, I enjoyed this. I had a great time. I can't wait to see you all next week for Comedy Month. It's going to be hilarious.
We're going to have so
Love
much
it.
fun.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, folks.
Toodles.
We'll see ya. Bye-bye.
You ever see a fly get even? You ever tear wings off a fly? You ever pull wings off a fly? You ever see the fly get even? You ever just like... you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? Oh.
Can I just insert that after the music plays on this episode?
You should.